in, kid.
Hello and welcome to the Very Bad Batch Explosion X After Show, breaking down, discussing, and reviewing each and every episode of the Star Wars original Disney Plus series, Star Wars The Bad Batch. My name's Don Blight. Joining me, Ashley Holby.
Hey Don, excited to be here on this episode with clones and shadows.
It's every week.
Yeah, technically every week is clones.
And shadows.
And technically shadows, if it's an episode with light.
Which I believe every episode has had some form of light in it.
Yeah.
Or else we wouldn't be able to see, like, what was happening.
That's true. Accurate.
This week we're talking about two episodes. Episode 6, Infiltration, which was The Batch Reunites with an ally in need. And episode 7, Extraction. As enemies close in, the Batch must evacuate a stronghold. Two-parter.
Yep.
Double episode. Could have just done a 45-minute episode, but anyway. What did you think of the this two-parter, Ash?
Yeah, obviously very good. Obviously, it's cool. We get reunited with Rex and his crew. And then we got the tension in between them and Crosshair a little bit. And then we get to see... I completely forgot these shadow clone assassins were a thing. Even though we saw them last season. Because they haven't...
Briefly.
Yeah, I don't think it was like a recap or anything. So I was like, oh yeah, these are a thing. And this kind of showcased how much of a serious threat they are. Because that scene where he's just walking through the base, completely, free to do anything. He lines up Omega, could just easily just took on the shot right there.
Luckily, the M counts can only be extracted while alive.
Well, they assume they don't want to. They don't want to find that. They don't want to kill her and then find out they can only be extracted when they're alive. So, that was really cool. And then obviously, the whole thing. I didn't realize that. Well, I assumed that commander that they
that they end on
It's like
that face.
It's like. Must be somebody.
That helmet must mean something.
That must mean something because he turns around and he just look in there and then it goes to the longest black I've ever had on a show. It was a good 20 seconds of black before it hits the credits. But yeah, I didn't have a clue because normally when I've been watching a lot of subtitles and that kind of stuff, so I can because they list the names of who's saying stuff,
okay.
So that helps a little bit. I didn't list who it was who said that, So I'm like, oh, I'm guessing this is somebody important. And then, turns out it's Wolf, who appeared in the Clone Wars and will also appear in Rebels. Am I right?
Oh dear. Yeah. So Wolf is with Rex in Rebels when they find and save them. He's one of the people with Rex.
So he's probably going to survive this.
So not only is he probably going to survive this, I'll go as far as to say that he does 100% survive this.
He'll make it to the end of season 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they done it that way, because it was it was like.
Did you pick it straight away?
Yeah, because he's got the wolf on the helmet.
Okay.
It's a giveaway.
I don't know, maybe you forgot about Wolf.
Nah. Wolf is of a main clone that's
okay.
Yeah. So that was shocking. I really liked it. I thought it was good 2 episodes. Getting to see a bit more. I don't know what honestly, by the time I got to the end of the second episode and I had to think back because I was sitting down here waiting for you. I was like, yeah, just throw that out there. Fucking, it's late, Ash. It's fucking so late. I was like, why did
it was extra worse this week because it was a 2-parter.
Yeah, true. Why were those politicians at the start? I completely forgot all of whatever was happening there.
Yeah, because they're working to try and get clones' rights back in the Senate,
Yes.
At least the main senator that we've been following all this time.
The blue one.
And the blue one. And obviously somebody doesn't like that idea.
Clones.
Well, you know.
Weirdly, they don't want to have rights.
Well, the ones who are brainwashed and, you know, made to forget all their memories, wiped of all their information, and wiped of their code, like their unique code or whatever. I don't know. They all come with like a USB dock to like find out all this information. Yeah.
History, you know? It's like when you buy one of the, you know, when you get like a fancy stuffed bear and it comes with a tag that says, my name's Barry and here's my story.
Pretty sure they just duplicate them for all the bears. They're all called Barry.
Oh, I thought they were all... Oh. Really ruining my night, you know?
Unless they got like a limited edition number on them, then...
I thought there was only one Barry, you know? So... that was really... Yeah, but aside from that, where I was suddenly like, what? Oh, yeah, the episode started that way. I forgot. Enjoyed it. Good two-parter. Highlights, obviously, I think getting to see a bit more the back and forth between Crosshair and Omega, and like the dad vibes now there.
I mean, it's interesting that she is very much globbed onto him, and like, especially like you see at the start of the episode or the first episode, like she's very much taking on characteristics. Like she's got doing the thing with the toothpick, like trying to make him a little bit in the background. You know?
Well, they were jailed together. You know what I mean? Like that's a bond.
I guess.
A bond you can't shake is a child and a clone who
was jailed in a completely separate cell and had to go a very far distance to go see occasionally.
Yep. I mean, they did hang out beforehand, you know? Before.
Yeah, all those times they hung out when Crosshair was trying to kill them.
You know, to some they would call that hanging out, you know?
Some delirious, deluded people.
Just saying, you know? I liked all that, and my favorite thing, I think my favorite line of the episode was the part where she says something about I can't remember the line that Omega says.
You're just like Hunter.
Yeah, you're just like Hunter, and he's like, I'm worse. I'm like, it's not worse as in like I'm a more badass killer. It's like I'm worse as in I'm more dad mode than he is.
You thought you saw Top Daddy? Just you wait.
Because that's how I took that line.
No.
So that was good. And this episode had a lot of really good action, I thought, as well. I really liked all the nighttime shootout stuff in the second episode. The sniper battle sort of thing that played out.
Which is a little more even because Crosshair's shit now.
Well, yeah, he's just not as good, I guess. So, you know.
Although the moment in the spire where the assassin's like firing from inside, like in the middle of abseiling down, and instead of like he realizes he can't get the shot, so he just fires an explosive next to him instead.
Yep.
It's like
fair, you
know, accepting your faults.
It's like when I'm playing like Call of Duty and I miss every single shot, and I'm just like, fuck it, grenade. It's basically the same thing, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bang, bang, bang. Whatever. R1 grenade. Yes, that was really good. What did you make of the I know you said the assassin dude, the thing you forgot about them or whatever. But yeah, what did you make of them and how they are? Because I mean, they're very evenly matched, the Bad Batch, and the Bad Batch was set up to be like the ultimate clone. So,
yeah, I mean, these are being positioned as the elite of the elite clones, so even more, you know, focused, like a serious. They're building up like a serious threat to the Bad Batch, you know, something to really overcome. I think the interesting thing is obviously the clone that they captured had like an immediate response to Crosshair walking into the room. So I mean, there's the discussion of, oh, you would try to become one of us and couldn't become one of us with the other one. But I think it's beyond that. I think, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of, them using his blood or DNA and trying to make all these other clones like super sharpshooters and that kind of thing, which I think would explain a fair bit. And then them being kind of clone versions of him, even though they all look like normal clones.
Well, yeah, I guess we didn't.
Or him being involved in possibly training them for a period or something like that. I think his like as the guy said, I think his Crosshair's knows more than he's letting on.
Do you think he knows more than he's letting on, or he's just unaware of actually what happened? Like potentials of maybe how he was used.
No, because he was like, "We need to get out of here as soon as they walk in the room." Not in like a I'm worried about our safety way, but in a I'm worried about saving my own skin kind of way.
So I wasn't sure if I took that as just as soon as he saw how lively he was, he knew that there was a communication must have been sent out, or he recognized this particular clone, or
yeah,
that's the only stuff. Get to see a bit more, obviously, Rex's little base setup gathering of people until it all gets blown to shit and he loses basically everything that he'd ever achieved. So now looking at that and thinking where the season's supposedly heading towards, which is this major showdown and attack on a base, so they lost like half their team, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like they know well enough to not be centralized to one spot. So I assume they've got a bunch of different bases and different crews working on different stuff in various places. So I doubt it's the end of the world, but it is. I'm sure they're mourning their losses and that kind of stuff. So I'm sure they had some good stuff there as well. Because I'm pretty sure if that was your major base of operations, you would have a ship that could go to hyperdrive as you get away vehicle.
Pretty good shot by old mate taking down the engine as they take the escape.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That said, I don't think Rebels have proven to be pretty smart. I'm consistently shocked whenever you think back on A New Hope and the fact they're all just hiding out on Yavin 4, or most of them. And that they all...
It's true.
Yeah. And all they've got protecting him is a dude standing in a tower just with half a pair of binoculars, That's all they got.
He's a really good guy with binoculars.
Yeah. Still don't understand what those things do, really. But I really enjoyed Wolf. I think coming back to that, I think that was another really good highlight for the episode was particularly seeing him as someone who I guess you can sort of view as basically how Rex would be if in a similar scenario, like he hadn't escaped the Empire and he was still within its confines and grasp, that he would probably be the good soldier following orders, but still sort of
from memory, how did Rex overcome the chip? Was it just...
Fuck, I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I can't even remember, to be completely honest, but I mean, Wolf would still have his chip, so he's just literally got enough thinking power within him. Or he's
just that loyal.
His loyalty is more for his own brothers at most of anything, because that's what it came down to at the end of it. When that other soldier.
The chip probably it's not like it's mind control. It was just enabling him to execute Order 66.
Good soldiers follow orders,
That is true.
And
that's what I've heard.
He did not follow orders.
Yeah.
Thus making him a bad soldier.
It's true.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that part at the end. Everything he said and just him choosing to let them go. And
do you reckon his squad is all clones, or?
Yeah, I would assume his squad's all clones. From what we've seen throughout the series, it's like they've sort of sectioned off the stormtroopers to the clone to the clone troopers. Yeah. So, it's like they don't like to mingle.
Yeah,
slightly feels racist, really, but yeah.
I mean, it's accurate.
Typical Empire shit. Yeah, and we got a few good. What is the dog's name again?
Batcher.
A few good Batcher moments this episode, which was really good to see. Chilling out in the base.
You know, there's a moment he's like, "Oh, is he going to go find the bad guy?"
Yep.
And then Omega gives him more food, and he's like, "No,
Yep.
I'm good."
He's like, "I'm good." That's all I need. You know, very relatable character, really.
Yeah, the most.
Yeah.
And then is just licking the dude?
Yeah, that part.
He only barks half the time.
50-50.
Very funny.
Anything else from this episode?
I thought the Omega's new energy crossbow would be a bigger deal than it was. Maybe they're setting up something for the further line.
Yeah. They're like, we're just going to give it to her this episode.
Chekhov's
tease you.
Energy crossbow.
Yeah.
You know, because Echo makes a pretty big deal about it.
Or they put it in the poster first, and then everyone reacted and said, "Man, it's so cool that she's going to get this crossbow this season."
Like, oh, shit.
And then they were like, "Fuck, we need to add this into the show somewhere."
I mean, it looks cool. You know, the theory of, I imagine you would be able to fire like at a quicker rate. Just, you know.
I nearly at the end of the part in the waterfall where they're having the Leonardo DiCaprio versus the bear fight scene. I thought it was her who nearly shot the dude in the back. I thought that was going to be the reveal, but that wasn't.
No, it's a guy who stuns him and then he lets him fall off this massive wall.
Yeah, similar to Batman. I didn't kill him. I'm simply the one who.
Well, he literally didn't kill him, and he didn't die either.
Luckily, you know, because Batman's like, if I punch a dude and he falls off a roof, is it my fault he died or the cement on the ground? You know, I feel like it's a similar sort of, or was it gravity's fault? Yeah,
if I punch a dude and his jaw shatters, is it my fist or was it because he has a very weak jaw?
Yeah, I think exactly weak jaw. You know, weak jaw, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I stun a dude and they happen to be near water and they fall into the water and the water happens to be part of an overflowing massive waterfall and the waterfall happens to kill them, was it the stun or their lack of bone mass? You know? Like,
I don't know. I feel like if you knock somebody out and then threw them in a river.
But you didn't throw them. They just fell. They happened to fall that way. You know?
I feel like if you bump somebody off the top of the side of a massive building and they hit the ground, you would be held responsible.
Now, in Australian law, yes, but
in space ethical law,
are you?
No,
because
you're only if you found the body.
Yeah, and there was no body.
Yeah, so you just have to assume you lived, right?
And they're clones, so who cares? You know?
Yeah. It's interesting that they all believe Rex is dead. Like
propaganda, you know?
Propaganda, you know?
Yeah. Propaganda. The Jedi turned. They did this. Ahsoka was shit. Rex died. Lies.
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker died. Lies.
Do you reckon clones know what midichlorians are?
Rex, I like the way they played off of Rex. Rex would have heard it because he was around enough Jedi that maybe he overheard it at one point mentioned. Like, I like how that's like the way he plays it off is, I feel like I've heard that before. Maybe when I was around someone, but yeah.
No, but they always called it like midichlorians, and then the
M-count.
Empire's introducing this M-count thing, so they're not 100% sure it's completely accurate.
Retroactively acting like it was a thing thrown out. We just never heard it. You know, people were saying M-count like, you know, like I
no. It's like he's like, oh, is this code for midichlorians or is it some other
something
thing?
Else? Yeah. He's like, I know what midichlorians are. Let me explain that to you. M-count, if it's something else, don't know.
No.
Very good question.
It is.
All right. That'll do it for this week's episode of Holocron Entries, The Very Bad Batch. Please subscribe to the podcast feed, of course, for all these great Star Wars post-episode and pre-episode discussions. We'll be back next week. They're not taking that mid-season break. We're just going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Back next week to discuss next week's episode. Back to a singular next week, I believe. A few more weeks before we get another double. Around Easter time, I think was the next double or something like that.
Yep, something like that.
Something like that. If you like this episode and want to support the website and the podcast, explosionnetwork.com/support takes you to our Ko-fi page. Donate over there would be great. Check out all the other podcasts on explosionnetwork.com. And until next week, have a good one. Goodbye.